All right, IG. So the purpose of this video, and we got Facebook over here, we got YouTube as well. We got Steve Rakin right here. You guys see Rakin
sourcing right now.
Boom.
eBay sourcing.
He's going on eBay. The purpose of this video is to teach you guys how to make money in 2021. We've made money in a myriad of ways. If anybody doesn't know what that word means, it just means in a lot of different ways. And to break down the different ways we've made money, it is reselling used items online, whether that's Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Amazon. Have you sold anything on Craigslist?
Not in years.
Yeah, but we have before, so I didn't lie just there because I've never sold anything on Craigslist. eBay, I sell on eBay a little bit. Probably you were asking for an eBay account. I don't even have access to my own eBay account. I have my VAs manage that business, but the majority of my sales come from Amazon. I've done 1.3 million in books, 1.5 million in all products in the last 12 months. Steve has probably he's done well over 6 figures in affiliate income, YouTube income, eBay, Amazon income, if you added all that together. And he's very good at marketing. He's very good at posting on YouTube, making content, and just being consistent. And he really understands systems when it comes to leveraging email lists and different things like that. So, and that's really what business comes down to. Like, guys, if you don't have a customer list, if you don't know who your customers are, like, you're not really running a real business. I'm sorry, but you know, arbitrage is one thing. Being able to take money and flip it real quick. I know it's 18-year-old. He's probably going to come in here soon if he's not already. Jake Carter. He made $300,000 flipping chlorine this summer, and that's great. But the thing about that is, like, okay, where's your customer list? You know, and you don't necessarily need to build a business that has a customer list. But if you don't have a business that has a customer list, you don't have a real business, because being able to market to people over and over and over again and know who your customers are, that's what allows you to build a scalable business where you can eventually step back from that business and have that business run on autopilot. So me and my book business, I have colleges that send me books. I have a college that sends me books. I used to have a library that would send me books, and I could scale that part of my business. But instead, the part of my business I decided to scale was the Amazon sellers. I found out Amazon sellers were having issues selling restricted textbooks. I realized that was a pain point. And so I built this list literally of like 1,500 plus Amazon sellers who have issues selling restricted textbooks. And I built this massive list of people who are interested in my service, and I remarket them over and over again. I say, hey, look, are you interested in selling restricted inventory? Hey, you haven't sent this inventory in a while. And that business alone makes me, it's going to make me over 200,000 this year in gross profit. And that's fucking insane, you know? And so if you don't have a customer list, you don't really have a real business, in my opinion. And so make sure, even if you guys are doing arbitrage, I know a lot of you guys can get caught up in the arbitrage cycle. Hey, I got to find items to flip. I got to use this different software to find items to flip. That is great. It's a great skill to have. But if you want to build a real business, make sure you're honing not only your marketing skills, but you're also honing your, let's call it innovation. You're honing your innovation skills. So you're doing something different in the marketplace that was never done before. And that's what I've been able to do, and that's why I'm getting paid for doing that, is because I've been able to find a part of the marketplace that had a problem that wasn't solved yet, and I was able to market that effectively. So whatever question you guys have, whether it's about selling used books on Amazon, whether it's about starting a YouTube channel, Steve Ray can answer those questions, affiliate marketing, building a customer list, just building a business in general. I'm working on a software business right now. I'm not software profitable yet, but I've spent $30,000 on my software this year, and I plan on building that business to 7 figures plus. So I do have some experience with that, even though we're not profitable yet. So whatever questions you guys have. What up, Arturo? Matt in the house. I'm over here on IG. I'm about to come over to Facebook in a second.
How we doing on there, man? Who we got?
Somebody says our course link doesn't work. If on Deadable, if you can.
I got an email about that too, but I tested it out and it sounded like, is it the Black Friday sale? Is that?
Do you mean the Black Friday link? Let us know, YouTube. What are you talking about?
Pancakes fucked up that link.
We can fix that real quick.
That's what I'm curious about.
Arian says, I'll let him know right now. Forgot what I was talking about, Arian. Jason. Milo says crypto bot king. Damn right.
Dude, those crypto bots, tell them about the results for that.
Yeah, so the crypto bots have been really interesting. So we set up one for our book business blueprint business, and we also set one up I set one up for me personally. So I made like 2K, dude, like really fast with mine personally. And our one for book business blueprint has made like, I think it's made 1,500 to $2,000. It's made a decent amount of money. I bet if we check it, dude, we can check it right now, actually. Let's check this because crypto's been going crazy lately. And actually, like the way our bots are set up, it's actually going to be better when Bitcoin depreciates in value because that's when our bots start to work again.
Dude, I set up some demo bots the other day. Do you know what demo bots are?
I don't know.
You can set up bots with fake money, and it's the same exact thing as real money. I set up 3 the other day.
Yeah, I do know what demo bots are.
Yeah, I set up 3 the other day. I put $30,000 into Decentraland, and it made $1,000 already in 3 days.
Jeez.
Just in bot profit. Another one, 187. Another one, 280. On mine, it usually makes like 10 to 20 bucks a day.
So for anyone wondering how these bots work, Steve and I have been using them for a while. We actually have an inside connection with somebody who's really big in wholesale. You guys know Dan and Dylan. Some of you guys might be familiar with them. We promoted their course a while back, and they're connected with this other guy named Dan. A lot of Dan's in the business, and Dan actually, like, his technique is, well, the technique of crypto bots in general is like, crypto's like this, right? It's volatile. It goes up and down, up and down. And so if you believe in 2 cryptocurrencies, let's say Ethereum and Bitcoin, and there's all these what people call shit coins or altcoins. There's all these different coins. You can you can place money in any coin, but as long as their volatility is going on, the way the bots work is, it sounds crazy because it's a bot, but really all it is a bunch of buy and sell orders. So you have a bunch of buy orders and sell orders in a way that mathematically makes sense. So, for example, as Bitcoin depreciates and Ethereum appreciates, so Bitcoin's going down, Ethereum's going up, Ethereum's going to buy more Bitcoin. And then as Bitcoin goes down, and as Bitcoin goes up and Ethereum goes down, Bitcoin's going to buy more Ethereum. And so basically what you're doing is you're creating more of the currency that you believe in, and you're just doing that over and over again. And so I've made, between Book Business Blueprint and my personal this year, I've probably made over $3,000, maybe $4,000 just from that. Mm-hmm. And so that's pretty exciting. We got Florida craft beer guy. Speaking of craft beer, we got these Elysian, did I say it? Elysian IPAs, Space Dust, really good IPA. And we got Facebook in the house, and we also have YouTube. So if you guys have questions, drop them, Facebook and YouTube. You kind of weak over here. We only got 6 people, but we got 14 people on Instagram, so I'm going to answer.
Bro, I just popped on a DVD for $20 off for 67.
Hell yeah. Steve's been on this DVD game. So what he's been doing is buying DVDs on eBay, and he's been flipping them on Amazon. Like, I'm telling you guys, there's so much opportunity out there. Like, if you just take 2 seconds to fucking focus on something and create a system for it, like, Steve's wasting his time right now because what are you doing? You're sending all this shit to your house, and then you have to unpack it.
You can tell them on what I'm working on right now.
So what he's doing is he's buying CDs, DVDs, toys, and he's shipping them to his house. And he's got a good system. He's profitable, we think. You know, you've been paid, $15,000 from Amazon, and we think that
all the margins are good, but we're working on a back-end system.
Yeah. So now what he needs to do is he needs to free up his time. As entrepreneurs, you always want to get your time back. So he's going to start using a prep center, and he's actually going to create a system hopefully pretty soon. Hopefully, I don't like to say by the end of the year, but hopefully like next 3 months, he'll have a system for finding
next 30 days.
He'll be able to find profitable items over and over again. So that's the next goal we have with him. But there's like a crazy amount of opportunity when it comes to just flipping shit. Flipping shit is a lot of fun.
It doesn't end. There's so much.
See who else we got in here. Jeffrey Flips.
But dude, talk about, you have to pick something because there's so many different things. Like, you can dabble in a million things, but you really have to pick something and commit to it.
What do you mean?
Like, there's a million things that you can get into. Like, you could be flipping DVDs and stuff off of eBay. You could be doing books. You could be doing wholesale.
That's very true. And so there's a difference between learning how, okay, so like with books, for example, I have hard experience with books. So like I know what books, I know when I look at a book, I know what I've sold it for, dozens of times in the past. So my personal data for how many times I've sold books in the past is 10 times more valuable than what any app is going to tell me it's worth. Does that make sense? Like, I know that if I look at a certain book, I always look for books that I can hold. Do you have a physical book I can hold? Well, I'm going to grab
There's a book on the TV right there. There's all types.
I know, for example, I know that I've sold this book right here. I know that I've sold this for $20 every single month. I know I sold this 12 times for $20. And so when somebody says, how much are you willing to pay for this? I know in the back of my head, I've sold this for $20 10 times. Okay? It's very valuable information.
That's different than just looking at a rank. When you actually sell an item, the confidence is there.
Yes, you know. And so when you look at a sales rank, when you look at the current value, that is not nearly as valuable as how much you sold it for. There's a book I always talk about. By the way, this was just an example. Nobody take me too seriously. I did not sell this book for $20. I'm just using that as an example. But Biology 11th edition is a book that I have sold for $160 over and over and over again. And I just purchased it, 2 copies of it. I bought it on Amazon.com for $50. Biology 11th edition. You can look up this book. It's got a sunflower in the front of it. I bought this book for $50 on Amazon, and I know in the past I've sold it for as much as 200 plus. I've sold it for as little as like $80. I know I've sold it for dirt cheap before, maybe even less than that because my repricer was going crazy. But I know that book, I know I could sell it for $160. So having this confidence of being able to sell an item and you know what it can sell for, that's huge. And don't get blind confidence. Don't get the confidence that, oh, I've sold this for $160 in the past, so therefore I can sell it for $160 in the future. That is also not necessarily true. Just because you sold something in the past for $160 doesn't mean you're going to sell it in the future for $160. But in my opinion, your past sales data is more valuable to you than any type of metric that you're currently looking at, whether it's a scouting app, whether it's a listing app, whether it's KEEPA, whatever it is. It's much better to look at your past sales data. See who else we got in here. Mint Souls in the house. We got Gold. Dude, we got these shoe people. They sell like fucking 6 figures a month, and they're fucking like they're like 13 years old. Fucking ridiculous. We got Healing Heart, G Picks, Whip Co. Do you know anyone who is good at teaching crypto buy? Yeah, we do. If you want to learn, you can DM me GPix. And we also, if you're on our email list, you will get emails with the person we trust. His name's Dan Hollins. And you should get emails
they're
about crypto. Yeah.
It's coming out on the 27th. We're going to be sending one out.
Yeah, make sure you're on our email list. You'll get emails about that. Hopefully Steve and I will make an appearance on this next webinar. The reason why Steve and I haven't is we just don't understand it enough. Like, we're making money from it, but we can't really explain it because we're fucking idiots. So we're trying to learn a little bit more about this.
And just follow the system.
Yeah. So,
but that's the good thing about this is like you don't have to understand. Like right now the lights are on and we're able to enjoy the lights through electricity. But do we know how electricity works? We don't. But we know that we turn on the light switch, and it's the same thing with the crypto bots. It sounds crazy, but all we have to do is buy certain things, follow certain rules, plug and play.
You know what? I feel like I can explain it to people real quick. Like the way these crypto bots work, if you're extremely conservative, like Steve, do you have any personal bots set up?
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Are they making USDT?
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve's a very conservative person. So Steve doesn't like getting into ventures. Like we were talking about real estate last night, and he was like, I don't want to do Airbnb. Airbnb people are going to come in, they're going to screw up my property. They're going to, he's worried about Airbnb being too rough. Like there's new people every day. So Steve, with his real estate, what he does is he has tenants, and they come month to month, and he knows that Bobby's living in his place, and Bobby's going to live there next month and the month after, and it's more stable, and it's not as much wear and tear on his real estate. So likewise with crypto, if you're an extremely conservative person and you don't want to invest a lot of your money into some crazy crypto coin that Elon Musk or Alex Becker or somebody else is pumping, and you just want to make sure that you make money, like you're too freaked out by the market, but you want to make money, the best thing you can do, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, this is not, I'm not even pulling this from anyone else. This is just what I've found with the crypto bots. In my opinion, the best thing to do is there's something called USDT. USDT is equivalent to the US dollar. It's a cryptocurrency technically, but it matches the US dollar. So in my opinion, with these crypto bots, the best thing you can do is you invest in Bitcoin, you invest in Ethereum, or if you want to have more potential to make more money, what you do is you invest in what's called altcoins or moon coins. What you do, or shit coins. any of these terms, they're basically all the same thing, I think. Would you say they're all the same thing? Altcoins, moon coins, shit coins.
I mean, a moon coin is something that is typically like, if you go to coinmarketcap.com, it's usually like 600, 800th in place. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in the top 100, it's like an altcoin that has like a pretty good market cap.
Okay, so altcoins are a little bit more reliable. Then moon coins have the potential to have exponential scale.
They have small market caps. It might only be a 10, 20, $40 billion market cap.
So the way these bots work is they create whatever currency you want. So if you want more USDT, as the moon coin appreciates in value, as it goes up, whether it's an altcoin, a moon coin, whatever, shitcoin, as this goes up in value, it is actually purchasing more of USDT, which is essentially the US dollar. So the US dollar, which is the US dollar, is going to go up. And as the value of this goes up, it's also buying more USDT. So technically you're going down in the altcoin, but it's transferring the altcoin to USDT as the appreciation occurs. So if you want to immediately capitalize on the appreciation of these coins in the form of USDT rather in the form of the cryptocurrency, these bots are a good option for you. And so that's when we do set up conservative bots, we do set up bots to create more USDT. And so, for example, one of my bots recently said it made me like $500 in like a couple week period, but it was because Ethereum just went up crazy in value. So Ethereum was going up like this, and it's buying a bunch more USD. But really all it's doing is it's saying, hey, Ethereum's going up in value relative to US dollar, so let's buy more US dollar. And it's doing it in a way that's profitable. So if you do believe in crypto, if you believe in the volatility of crypto, but you don't believe in crypto long term, which I don't know why you wouldn't believe in crypto long term, there is a case for not believing in crypto long term. I've heard that case be made, and maybe you're one of those people, but you do believe it goes up and down. Then in my opinion, you should still be a crypto bot person because you can create more USDT with the current coins you have. That's enough crypto talk for the night, guys. I'm not a crypto fucking god, but I have been working a little bit with crypto. GPIC says, do you have a minimum you need to put into crypto bot, like 1K or so? Is there no minimum? You generally
like 3K.
You want to have about 3K and get started with these bots. Jerry, what's up? Skippy Dynamite, Arturo Rays, what's good?
Let me ask you a question here, and you could answer it on this.
What's good?
Help me out.
We got 24 people in the house, by the way.
What's up, everybody? I'm about 4 drinks down, which isn't a lot, but for me, it's like 20. So I'm looking to hire somebody right now, a virtual assistant, to help me with the DVD board game textbook business that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
What's your process? I'm curious because I have my own process, but I'm curious, what's your process when you're trying to hire somebody to do like a data entry job for your Amazon business? Because I just put out a post on onlinejobs.ph and I have like 100 people who applied, and I have my system, but I want to know, what do? Do you just have or do you just have your team like going in, like what's your process for hiring a new VA?
We have a system, and at this point in my business, I have my main virtual assistant hire people. So I don't even waste my own time hiring people anymore. I have my virtual assistant hire people. And what we do is, it's very simple, and I'm pretty sure I've told you.
But you have an outcome for your task. So how do you get your main right-hand man to like get the outcome that you want?
Okay, so we do a few things. We have the job description. So you should write a quick little job description. Data entry, And in my opinion, I already know about your position. I don't think that's going to take too much of her time. I think you should also use her as like a true virtual assistant as well. This is my opinion. I think you should also have her just be like a good person to be a virtual assistant, which is just somebody who's good at listening, you know? And so I think you should make a big part of the job description just being a virtual assistant, because data entry, they're not going to be a honey-let. They're not going to be like a numbers person.
Yeah.
They're going to be more of just like a virtual assistant. And so I think you should harp on data entry, virtual assistant, and put everything you can about the job description. And this is for anybody who wants to hire a virtual assistant. The next thing you want to do, what we do is we always have this simple task of like filling out a spreadsheet with the colors of the rainbow. That's part of our hiring process. You know, we've done it with everybody. It worked with hiring Honey
What does
Let.
that mean?
So like you have to send us a spreadsheet to our email that has the colors of the rainbow. And so we can easily, like, we'll get dozens of emails from virtual assistants, and what we'll be able to do is just quickly click on the Excel sheet and see, oh, they made a spreadsheet of the colors of the rainbow, and they did a shitty job. They maybe didn't add the color, maybe they added the color, but they don't have 2 columns. But the best is like 2 columns, the perfect colors. Maybe they fucked up the colors of the rainbow, which is like, that's not good.
Yeah, you know what I always do when I put out my application, and I learned this from Evan Carmichael. In the middle of my application, my job description, it says, go to my YouTube channel at Rake and Profit and tell me how many subscribers I have, and put it in the title of the application. And if they don't, I completely ignore them.
Yeah.
Because I'm already testing their competency.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I ask a couple questions like, what's your hourly rate, and what are the times that you work? If you don't share this in the first application, then I completely ignore you. And you'd be shocked, 50% of the people, they literally 100% ignore everything. They don't read it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so after that, like one more thing that's like icing on the cake, and this is like super traditional interview, is we ask, why would you be a good fit for the job? But it's actually a really good question. You know, you put the job out there, maybe you made a Loom video about the job, but by you asking that question and seeing what their answer is, hey, Steve, I'd be a great position for this job because I used to work with spreadsheets all the time. And I actually worked with somebody who had an eBay business in the past, and I've heard about you in your YouTube channel. Like you know, you get like a real feel for who they are.
Yeah, the thing I don't like is, you know, especially on like onlinejobs.ph, I love the website. Even Upwork, I love the website, but I hate communicating through the messaging tab. It's a pain in the butt. So how do you get people to the next step where you're able to actually have a conversation with them, and or like put them to the test? Because now I want to see how they perform. Because you talked about this before. You were talking about somebody who was like, they hired one person, invested 1 million hours of time into it. And it's like, you want to put them to the test really quick to see like.
So this is what I do. And maybe it's not the right way, but it's worked for me on average. You know, it hasn't worked in all of our businesses, obviously. We just had that big screw up with one of our hires in our business. But
it wasn't that bad. But, yeah.
I think this is my opinion, and this has worked a lot for me. This is how I hired Honey Let. I hired 2 people at the same time. So you find the 2 most qualified people.
That was your best hire, by the way. We can't give too much.
We shouldn't even say her name right now. We should keep that shit
what are you doing,
down low.
That was your best hire. Keep going.
Yeah. So what we do, and what I recommend for most positions is, especially if it's a virtual position, hire 2 people at the same time, and just hire them, and then have them do the work, and just kind of let them know. Like, it'd probably be nice to let them know, like, it's a trial period. Hey, this is a trial period. You're going to be paid for this. It's going to be 1 week, but
and it's so cheap, $1.50 to $4 an hour, whatever you pay.
Yeah, and I didn't even tell them it was a trial period. Like, I just said you're hired, and I'd always hire 2 people, and there was always one person that did significantly better than the other person, whatever the task was. So yeah, you should start out like with any virtual assistant, you should start out at $1.50 an hour. But you should always, if you start at $1.50 an hour, you should always hire them full time. Don't hire them part time at $1.50 an hour, because it's like they're not able to live off of that.
And you know why? They're also going to have a full-time job. Like, they're going to have to find other work.
Yeah, so they'll have to find, and then you guys know how it is. Like, you can only do so much work in a day. You want to make sure that you have your employees' full attention all day, every day. Super, super important. So that's my advice for that. I feel like I am pretty good at hiring people for the most part, but it's a difficult thing, you know. Like, you're gonna hire shitty people. It's just gonna happen. You're gonna hire people that, you shouldn't have hired. They're not qualified. Maybe they're not ethical, and that's just part of business. So we got 9 people on Instagram. We got 13 people here. Total of 22 people in the house. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Instagram, if you have questions, drop questions below. I'm going to go over here to YouTube and Facebook and answer any questions you have. So I actually always hate it during lives when people don't answer the most recent questions. So I'm going to answer the most recent questions. So if you guys have questions that you want answered, copy and paste them, repost them. But let's get into this. Somebody says, great content. Jeremy says, Romer is a beast. Let's scroll down here. Instagram. Remember, guys, on Instagram, if you guys have questions, repost your question, and I will get to it. I am going to answer the most recent questions. Same to you, YouTube, and Facebook as well. So let's see here. Clint BH says, hey, Romer, would you ever pay someone to track items on KEEPA for you? If so, how much? Well, Clint, perhaps you don't know, KEEPA actually has a feature where it can automatically track items for you. So anybody that doesn't know what KEEPA is, you should know what KEEPA is. So for example, this is a book here. This book has an MSRP of $30. So I am assuming it sells on Amazon for 20 to 30 bucks. And on KEEPA, it tells you the sales price over time. And let's say you're doing online arbitrage, or you have a bookstore. You want to sit here, you can.
No, I'm good.
And what you can do is you can actually put a buy order on KEEPA. So you can put on KEEPA, you can put, I want to purchase this product, whether it's a book, whether it's a grocery item, whatever it is. I want to purchase this product when it drops below this price. So I have a bunch of products now, literally get emailed. And if you really want to do this right, this is how you do this. You set up a different email account. What I'm about to drop is fucking gold, and I hope some of you guys take action on this. We got 17 to 18 people in the house. I hope that some of you guys take action on this. I literally set up a second Gmail account, and that Gmail account is the only account that gets notifications on my phone. Yes, you can do this. You can set up notifications on your phone for only certain Gmail accounts. And that's what you do. You set the price notifications on KEEPA for items that you want to purchase, and then your phone fucking buzzes when it drops below that price. And when it drops below that price, you open up your phone, you click on it, you make sure it's a good item, you make sure it's not counterfeit, water damage, a shitty seller. You purchase the item, you ship it to your house, and then you're able to resell that item for massive profits on Amazon. So if you guys want to really leverage KEEPA, do that. Tim Ferriss talks about this. Whatever you can automate in business, automate. Don't delegate. Don't delegate something that you could automate if it's not a lot of work to automate. And with KEEPA has those price notifications, so you guys can use that. You guys can leverage that. You guys don't need to set up a system to track items on KEEPA with a virtual assistant. All right, we got Carly saying, "Hey, you're cute. Appreciate you."
Who's that?
Carly Gatch in the house. Much better than all the people that say I look like Mark Zuckerberg. Jake Carter says dropping bombs. We got Jake Carter in the house. What do you have to say to this
What is that?
18-year-old, the chlorine god?
Oh man, I've heard good things about you, man. Keep it up, man. It's inspiring.
You can't say too much about what I told you in the hot tub about him catching trucks on fire.
Dude, come on. Why do you gotta throw him under the bus, man?
He's got
I would have never. This kid is 100 years ahead of any of you and I were.
Dude, what were you doing at 18?
Dude, McDonald's get fed. What?
Clint says, "Yeah, I mean, would you pay someone to do?" Okay, so Instagram. I know you guys have questions I haven't answered, but if you guys want the questions answered, either repost them or ask new questions, and I will answer any questions. We just got one in here. When are y'all coming to Texas? Says Gabby.
What part of Texas?
What part of Texas are you from, Gabby? I don't know when I'm coming to Texas. I'm going to New Mexico next week.
Have you been to Austin, Texas?
I have.
I was gonna say Austin, Texas.
We should take a trip out there. Go shoot some videos.
Oh, you hung out with the Bonafide hustler?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
He's getting fat nowadays.
Is he?
No.
I was about to say, God damn, you better fucking step it up wherever the fuck he is. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, his work ethic is crazy.
Jay Carter says, "Bro, you should hear the voicemail I got earlier today. I'll text it to you." Dude, this kid's been through so
What
much.
happened? Voice message for what?
We can't talk about it right now, but
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you after this call, like
Okay.
something else. Like he's been through a lot. It's fucking crazy.
I would actually like to get some advice, like how he's so like risk averse, like how he's able to just go so balls to the walls. It's
Dude, he has been in business as long, if not longer than
because
me.
that's one of the challenges. We were talking about that before. Like I'm in my mid-30s, you know. And
Yeah.
It's easy to become very conservative because you have a lot to lose, you know. So I'd love to learn a little bit about his mindset.
Definitely. He's also fucking 18, so he's got an 18-year-old mindset. Gabby says she's from Austin, Texas.
Man, send a pic.
Other questions we have, guys. I'm going to scroll up and answer any questions we have. YouTube and Facebook, drop any questions below, and we will answer those as well.
You got BBB in here?
We got BBB in the house.
BBB's here?
Yeah, they're all asleep, though. You know them. Old as fuck. Drew says, I'm here for the OnlyFans.
Hey.
Okay, we got somebody says, I have an issue listing. What do you think is the fastest way to send them to use Inventory Lab? Great question. Great question. I'm actually making a listing software right now. It's called go2lister.com. That is lister.com. And
It's coming out next month, right?
it's coming out soon. It's ready to go. Actually, message me, Arturo. I can sign you up as a beta user. I use Accelerlist. I use Inventory Lab. I've used ScanLister in the past. I don't currently use it, and I'm making my own listing software. And your question is, what do you think the fastest way? I don't know if Inventory Lab is faster than
I
Accelerlist.
used to use it.
How fast was it?
It was
Similar, yeah. The thing with Accelerlist, and like I'm just being completely objective here, Travis, if you're in here, like this is completely objective statement, but Accelerlist does have its issues. Every software has some issues, and with Accelerlist, the issues are the profit analytics are off. There's bugs. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it's super slow. Inventory Lab, I can't speak for that. Maybe it happens with Inventory Lab too.
I liked Accelerlist better than Inventory Lab for some reason.
Accelerlist is made for booksellers and the workflow. And so what I'm creating, this listing software I'm creating, I've thought about trying to make it for everybody. I've thought about trying to make it for wholesalers, retail arbitrage guys, but I'm just making it for booksellers, guys. I'm making it like the best possible software for a newbie bookseller. I did a very unprofessional test, and it was faster than Accelerlist on my phone. I recorded it, how long it took to list a book. But then again, we don't have any users yet. Our user interface is definitely way better than Accelerlist right now, just because you're able to maneuver quicker. So our software will be the fastest software in 2022 to use in terms of convenience. And we've worked really hard on building this infrastructure for the software in order to make it quick and not fold under a bunch of users. Like I told the developers, we're gonna have 1,000+ users, and we want to make sure that it's able to hold 1,000 users. So the software is going to be good. And also, I run a consignment business where we deal with thousands of users inventory, and we have our profit analytics damn near perfect with our restricted inventory customers. And we're going to take that same infrastructure and put it into GoToLister. So you guys are also going to be able to see your profit analytics, and they're actually going to be really accurate. So no hate to anybody, but at the end of the day, we live in a capitalistic society, and you gotta take action. You gotta make people happy. And so that's what I'm gonna do, is make you guys happy. Arturo says, I think $40 is a lot. What are you talking about? Inventory Lab? I'm gonna charge $50 for my listing software, so get ready. Jake Carter says, we'll talk tomorrow about it. Took 2 days. That'll net me 6 figures in a few weeks, besides other investment a few weeks ago. Jake is wild. He spent $400K on something the other day.
400,000?
Yeah, he spent $400K. Gabby says, what's the best repricer? Great question. So I currently use it's called Aura. It's AURA. That's what I use to reprice my inventory. And the reason why I use Aura is I reprice for 30+ Amazon accounts, close to 30 Amazon accounts, probably over 30 Amazon accounts. And Aura only charges $100 a month for unlimited Amazon accounts, so it just makes sense. Otherwise, I'd be paying like $3,000 reprice each month, and I don't want to do that. But I think, I don't know what the best repricing for books is, but what I found, what I have found personally, from my experience watching other booksellers and being a bookseller, Reprice It is really good software. Reprice It is solid. It's got decent rules. It's not what I want it to be. I want Reprice It to be able to do more than it does, but Reprice It is a pretty good software all in all. And the difference between, there's different types of repricers, and some repricers reprice every second. As a bookseller, you don't need it repriced every second. You need your books repriced once a day, once every 2 days. And Reprice It allows you to reprice inventory based on age, based on sales rank, based on price. And those are really like the key things you need to base your inventory on. So Reprice is actually pretty good software, so I still recommend that for booksellers. All the people in the Book Business Blueprint, if you guys want to set up your repricing template, simply go to the end of the course. I do give you guys my exact repricing template. So everybody in the course, you do have access to the repricing templates, and I recommend taking advantage of that. Hell yeah. What other questions we got, guys? We got YouTube in the house. We got Facebook. Whatever questions you guys have, drop them below. And also Instagram. Open this up. Bring you guys closer to me. Okay, Vaz, what's good? Clint. We got Ethan. Whatever question you guys have them for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Your assistant can also be a he. My assistant is a he. Gold. My main assistant is a he. Ransom girl, it's good. Appreciate both of you guys tuning in. The dollar is trash. Much better to have a bit that purchases more coin. Yeah. You know what the issue with that though is? The issue with that is, okay, people say, this is my problem. And like, again, guys, I'm no crypto expert, but my opinion, my humble opinion on this is people say the dollar is trash. Yes, the dollar is always inflating. In my opinion, from a point of stability and a point of currency, is how the fuck are you going to call a dollar trash? How are you going to call a dollar trash in terms of currency when it has been like, it's been at least the top 2 stable currencies over the last decade? And so many people are calling the dollar trash. They're not calling Bitcoin trash. They're saying Bitcoin's a savior. Well, okay, if Bitcoin's a savior, why don't you buy your house in Bitcoin? Why don't you buy your McDouble in Bitcoin? Why don't you buy all these things in Bitcoin? The reason why you don't buy it in Bitcoin, you guys always go back to the US dollar, right? You guys always convert Bitcoin to US dollar before you make a transaction. So you're basing the transaction based on the price of the US dollar, but the US dollar is trash. Yes, I don't agree with being able to print the US dollar, being able to print all this money and the way that the US dollar is handled, but I think it's a little bit ignorant to call the US dollar trash and simultaneously call cryptocurrency currency, because cryptocurrency is not currency because it is not being used as a currency, because we never ever base our transactions off of any of these currencies. When you buy a house for $400,000, you don't say, well, how much is it worth in Ethereum? You just don't care, because you know it's $400,000 and you know that's what it's worth, because we have such a grounding and relationship with the US dollar that's a true currency right there. The peso has been appreciating like fucking crazy. All these different currencies have been going up. The US dollar is also going up as well. But if we're talking about currencies, look at Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. Are these good currencies? Or are they really good currencies? Look at what they've done. They're going up and down like this. In my opinion, that's not a good currency. Maybe it's a good investment. Maybe you believe in where it's going to go. But in terms of being a good currency, personally, I don't believe that it is a currency yet. Nobody ever says, how much is it worth in Bitcoin when they do a big transaction? They always go back to the US dollar which shows the respect and the value of the dollar. Is the dollar being printed at outrageous rates? Yes. But and that's what cryptocurrency is going to appreciate, is because the U.S. dollar is it's not being respected the way it should. It's being printed at an outrageous rate. But
Pizza's here, bro.
is it here?
It's here.
Oh yeah. To call these cryptocurrencies currencies, I think is ignorant. That's my opinion. All right, we got some questions coming in on YouTube and IG. Keep the questions coming. I see more people coming in. IG, keep dropping the questions below. We got Will Ballin in the house. He's saying, yo, how should I print my labels for FBA? I have about 300 profitable books to go. He says, Will Balance says, can you chill with Bitcoin for a second? Okay. So people love Bitcoin. Whenever I start talking about Bitcoin, the viewership goes up. That's why I talk about it. Will Ballin, I'm going to answer your book question. How should you print your labels? If you have 300 books and you plan on being a bookseller, at the end of 2022, if you plan on being a bookseller for the next 12 months, buy a Dymo. Buy a Zebra printer. Buy a Dymo or buy a Zebra printer. I personally, like, people complain about Dymos, but Dymos are pretty good printers in terms of they have a good brand. Yes, they screw up sometimes, but you don't have to pay for ink ever with a Dymo. It's a thermal printer, so you can get a Dymo thermal printer, and whenever you scan the barcode of a book, it's going to print the FNSKU label, which is the label that Amazon requires you put on the book. You can print that instantly. You can put it on the book, and it just comes out. So the moment you scan the barcode and it's connected to your computer, it's going to print out the label. You can immediately put it in the book and ship it to FBA, and you're going to easily list those 300 books. Now, if you want to penny pinch and you don't want to spend that much money on a printer, it's between $80 and $180 depending on what brand of Dymo you go with. The 450 is the cheaper. The 4XL is the most expensive. But if you decide to not go that route, you can also use a regular printer at home. So if you want to use a regular printer to print labels for books, you simply it's the size of a regular piece of paper. They're called 30-up labels, and you can print your labels on sellercentral.com. So you go to Seller Central, you have your 300 books listed, go to Seller Central, go to the shipment. At some point in the shipment, it should have the option to print the labels. Click on print labels, you'll download a PDF, print that PDF, and it's going to have all the labels that you can print for your books. Simply peel the labels from the sheet, and you can put them on your book. 30-up labels, dirt cheap. Use a printer. Ink is expensive for printers, so at scale, it's actually cheaper to go the Dymo route if you continue to stay in this business. Like if you're going to be shipping thousands of books next year, go ahead and buy a Dymo. You're also going to save a lot of time and a lot of hassle, because with 30-up labels, if you have 300 books, you have to print 10 pages of labels, 30 labels on each page. And the issue with that is it's going to jumble them, and you have to find what label goes to what book. So it's probably much easier just to use a Dymo printer. What's the best way to price my books? The best way to price your books is generally matching buy box. So match the buy box price. The buy box price is the price that the customer sees first. If it's a very high demand book, which means it sells often, you can price above the buy box price. So price, the second, third, fourth, seventh offer above the buy box price. That's a pretty good strategy. You'll get several more dollars for your book. If it's a high demand book, if it's a low demand book, you actually want to price below the buy box. That's also a good strategy that you can do. And you can use repricers to do this. I was talking about reprice it earlier. You can also manually reprice books. You can use New Price. Matthew Osborne created this software. It's a manual repricing software, but it really allows you to see all the offers for the book. So if you do want to price above the buy box, it's one of the only softwares that's able to see above the buy box. That is new price, NU price. There's so many different strategies, but the premise that I just mentioned was high demand, price above buy box, low demand, price below the buy box. And yeah, that'll help you out a lot. Instagram, if you guys got questions, let me give some shout outs on Instagram. We got Arturo saying backed by the U.S. military. We got someone saying the dollar is real. So, wow, we're coming in with the heat tonight. We got Arturo saying, how'd you lose that BJJ match? You know, I thought I dominated that BJJ match, but I lost by points. And it is what it is. No excuses. That guy was better than me on that day that we competed. I'm not going to lie and say that I was better than him because obviously he won. But I need to get better at BJJ. I need to learn better chokes. But I also need to get better. I could have won that match if I would have known what a real takedown was. And because I went to my knees when I took him to the mat, I didn't score points. So I should have stayed off my knees and I would have scored more points and I could have won the match. But it is what it is. And you live and you learn. Gabby says, considering the restock limits, what would the best e-score be for low profit books? I always say 30. I feel like 30 is like a solid e-score. So like that's just like me emotionally in my head. When I see the number 30, that means it's sold at least 30 times in the last 6 months. And I feel like that's pretty fucking good. But it depends on your situation. You know, how much room do you have? If you're coming to me and you have like, it depends on how often you source books too. Like if you have 500 units available for restock limits and you're sourcing 100 books a month, then restock limits aren't a fucking issue for you. Send in more inventory. But if you're sitting in 2,000 items a month and your restock limits are at 3,000 and you're currently maxed out, the conversation is very different. You have to be very careful and you have to send in good items. You have to raise your restock limit. If that's the case, if you're at the point where your restock limit is maxed, you now need to lower the rank, which means increase. You're only taking high demand items, low ranked items, and you need to increase your profit. And if you do that, you can level out and start to balance out a little bit. I'm going to go over back to YouTube and Facebook. We got a question on YouTube. It says, I'm going to repost my question. I need advice. I got into book selling in a small city of mine in Canada, but I'm on Amazon FBA USA. Hopefully you're located close to the border. Sourcing books has been really easy for about $200. I found books that net me $1,000 profit. Okay. The only issue is shipping to the United States. Shipping from Canada to the USA cost me more than the books cost. It's a great question, and I don't necessarily know the answer to that. It depends on how close you live to the border. Are you an hour? Are you 2 hours? And then it also comes down to how many of these items could you list on the Canadian marketplace? Could you list some of these items on the Canadian marketplace and make more profit than you could on USA? Maybe you would make more profit in the long run listing them on Canada, not having to pay for the shipping fees. And so you need to develop a sorting process where you scan the books and you say, hey, this book right here is good to sell in Canada, you know, because we're gonna make $4 profit on it. And if we shipped it to America, we'd only make $3 profit. So we're gonna go ahead and ship it to Canada. But then there's also gonna be books where it's like, wow, this is selling for massive profits in the United States. We're making $8 in the United States, but we're only making $4 in Canada. Let's ship this to the United States. So then you need to find out how can you get them to the United States as cheaply as possible. And you got to find out how patient you are as well. How long are you willing to wait to get your money back? And the longer you're willing to wait to get your money back, the more money you can really make. You can fill up a whole pallet of books, save money on shipping costs, save money on probably import, export costs, whatever they are, if they're on one giant pallet. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not in terms of saving money, but you definitely want to minimize the time that you're spending shipping stuff across the United States and the number of transactions that are occurring. So if you're able to build up a whole pallet of books, you're probably going to save shipping costs for sure. You will save shipping costs for sure. And you'll probably save some money in terms of like the import export tariffs, whatever they are. And so yeah, that's my advice there. I'm not a Canadian to USA seller. Steve Rake is saying he's cutting it off.
Go.
Say we're done. He's saying let's eat this fucking pizza.
Go.
All right, guys, much love. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see if we got any last minute questions here.
Oh God.
FBA says Kevin. We got okay, you read the rules, so you didn't get the points.
Last minute questions.
Somebody's asking about my jiu-jitsu match, man.
Oh,
They're like, how the fuck do you lose, you little pussy?
Fuck off. Turn the goddamn live stream off.
All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Instagram, much love.
Any
I'll
more
catch you-
last minute questions?
catch you
Got one
soon.
anymore?
Peace out. YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Much love for the questions. Somebody says, why is Raking creeping in the background?
My fucking house.
He's a little creep. He's a little pizza creep back there. A little drunk.
I didn't realize he could see me. I'm like,
All right, y'all. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in, YouTube and Facebook. And I will see you guys soon. Much love.